The title race seems to still be going on and is an enthralling ride for anybody that's outside of the top two. Obviously the top two, my team Liverpool and Man City, do find it exciting because one of us is going to win the title. We just don't know who yet. But the race for top four, I don't know. It seems like it's a game of hot potato and nobody seems to want top four at the moment. They seem to have some good games, like some good games coming up where it seems like, oh, we can take advantage of this team slipping up and vice versa, and nobody does. I think everybody, I think from number 3 down to number 6, either none of them didn't win their games, I don't think. Now obviously Tottenham had a bit of a rawer deal of it by getting Manchester City, but even still, they had more chances than they probably thought they would have, and they only lost 1-0. But I'm just going to go quickly through everybody else. Let's have a look at the top 4. I think most of them played on Sunday, did they? I believe so. Yeah, Everton smashed Manchester United 4-0. What the hell? Did not see that result coming. Quite a few people did apparently after the fact, but I didn't. No way. No way did I ever see Everton putting 4 past Manchester United. And as a Liverpool fan, you don't have any faith in Manchester United to get a result against Man City, which would give you a bit of a hand in the title race. Let's just say that. I don't think that's going to happen. It would be a miracle if it does happen for Man United because, again, where they are, I think they're 6th in the table right now. Let's just double check that so that I am correct. Yes, they are. The top 4 is the top 4 race is ridiculously tight. There's only 3 points in it between those 4 teams: Tottenham, Chelsea, Arsenal, and Man United. No one could take advantage of anybody slipping up. So it's quite ridiculous in that regard. And then you had Arsenal versus Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace taking a commanding lead at one point at 3-1, ended the game 3-2. Christian Benteke scores his first goal within 358 days, nearly an entire year. Man, it was just you kind of thought, yeah, Crystal Palace are a difficult team, but Arsenal were at home, and Arsenal, I think that was the first loss they've had at home all season. I think, might be wrong. If it wasn't, then I think it must have been very, very early on this season when they did lose. But they have a very good home record at the Emirates, and they were 3-1 down at one point, and it was looking horrific, looking really bad. They didn't look like they could play a great deal of good football. They just could not pick up. They didn't look like they were going to pick up a result, and in the end, they didn't. So they then miss out on they could have gone third. They could have gone third, which would have been massive for them coming into the last I think they've got 4 games. They've got 4 games left over Chelsea and Chelsea at least. The opportunity is still there, and they're still in 4th position. They're in 5th position right now. Never mind that. Forget about that. Yeah, because Chelsea drew last night. So let's talk about that as well. Chelsea drew last night, and they drew against Burnley, and Burnley were well up for this game. Burnley played really well, in my opinion. People may say that they play in a negative style, but they're playing against a team that has a lot of attacking talent in it that just doesn't know how to put it together yet in this new system of Sarri. They have some good passing moments, they have some good opportunities. They scored 2 goals, 2 good goals in my opinion. Higuain also smashing one in. Looked like it could have gone anywhere, but it didn't. It went right in to the top of the net. I think it even come off the bar, it might have. But yeah, they scored 2 good goals, but Burnley just kept going. Burnley just did not stop, and they were a constant threat. And to come out with it 2-2 for Burnley, that's massive. They are practically safe in the Premier League once again. I think it's maybe one more game or one more point they need, and they are guaranteed safety, which is massive for Burnley, considering they were like 19th position at the end of the year last. Yeah, I think that's right. They were 19th position. For them to get safety, massive for Burnley. You can't look at the season they had before. This was absolutely huge for them. It really, really was. Let's just have a quick look at other results around the Premier League as well. West Ham, Leicester drew. Bit of a surprise there, but kind of 2 teams that are on a similar level. Wolves drawing with Brighton. Bigger result for Brighton because they're 3 points away from Cardiff, right now. And to be honest, I don't mind Chris Hughton. I think he's a good manager. Seems like a decent guy. It'd be nice to see them survive. It would. Watford beat Huddersfield. You kind of expect it now though with Huddersfield. They don't. They've got nothing to fight for, and they aren't fighting. So they're not going to put up much of a fight, especially against Watford. Fulham come out and beat Bournemouth, and Fulham, I think they've got now two wins on the bounce. You've got to be asking questions though as a fan, like where were these performances like earlier in the season? Why couldn't they put? Is it literally a case of the pressure of the Premier League that actually meant that they couldn't perform? And now that they're not going to be in the Premier League next season, they are now performing and picking out results at the wrong time. They could have been getting these results with the talent levels and the amount of money that they spent as well. They could have been getting these results a lot earlier. So again, I always say, if I was a fan of theirs, I'd be pretty annoyed because yeah, it's nice to get the results. It's nice to celebrate a win, but it isn't for anything. They can't survive. They're already relegated. So I don't know, not a good one in my opinion. But Newcastle also went out and beat Southampton 3-1, and it was Iosi Perez scores a hat-trick, and it was a very good performance by Newcastle, and who I think will be one of our toughest fixtures in the coming weeks to the end of the season. I don't think Rafa's going to take it easy on us whatsoever. I think he's going to be fighting. He wants his team to do well, regardless of what he's done for Liverpool in the past. I genuinely think that, yeah, all right, Huddersfield, I'm not going to see it as like it is a one game already, but out of the remaining games that we've got, Newcastle and Wolves are the ones that I'm looking at as like, regardless of if Man City drop points wherever, we still have to go and do our business. And speaking of Liverpool doing the business, yes, we did. We got a 2-0 victory over Cardiff at the weekend, and I was impressed with how we managed to get the result as well, because I'd said in my preview that it was going to be a difficult game, and it was a difficult game. It really was. There was opportunities for Cardiff where they actually could have scored a goal. You know, that guy, I can't remember who it was, from like 3 yards out, couldn't get the header on target, but there was nobody. Alisson was the other side of the goal. Nobody was there. So he could have actually 3 yards out, headed it in. It would have gone 1-1. We do get, all right, let's talk about, Gini Wijnaldum first. Gini Wijnaldum, with a great, it was a really well worked set piece, comes out that they talked about it at half time, drive that ball in low from the corner, Trent, drive the ball in low, and Gini Wijnaldum will get on the end of it. He did get on the end of it, and it went in the back of the net with some force, and it went 1-0. The opportunity for Cardiff came, and there was a little spell where they put on a lot of pressure. They actually had a lot of possession, attacking possession. They were in our third quite a lot, and yeah, it was just constant. It was just constant at one point. Then we do get a penalty, and it was a fortunate penalty in my opinion. Salah did go down. Referee gives it as a penalty, but I've said it time and time again that you can call it a dive. Yeah, it probably was. It most likely was a dive. But at the end of the day, I don't like seeing people dive, even if it benefits me, even if it benefits our team. Now, if the referee gives it, all right, that's this is where VAR will clear things up in the future. I don't want to see players diving. What I also don't like seeing though is our Liverpool social media arguing over the fact that Milner took the ball off Salah to take the penalty. Milner, when he's on the pitch, is designated penalty taker, regardless of who wins it or what. Yes, Salah could be in the run for the golden boot. I think is he on top right now, or he's tied with Aguero, whichever way round it is, and he wants to go a little bit further, that's fine. But Salah's not the most clinical penalty taker, in my opinion, and in our club. Whereas Milner, I think in the years that he's been here and taken penalties, I think he's missed one. I'm always going to be on the side of who is your designated penalty taker. You're not going to take that ball off Milner. You're not going to keep that ball away from him either. Once he's on the pitch, he's designated penalty taker. and he slotted it home for 2-0. Because the worst thing that could have happened there, say Salah steps up, he takes that penalty, and he misses or it gets saved. Yes, he could have scored. Absolutely, he could have scored, totally. And he could have scored. But if he doesn't, then what happens? You've taken the ball away from your designated penalty taker, which we've seen in the past doesn't always end well with other teams taking it off the penalty taker. And then what could happen? We were only 1-0 in front. So what could happen then? Cardiff might get a little bit of confidence, and then they might go forth and equalise. I'm happy with the result. I'm not happy with the actions of Salah going down. Yeah, all right, if the referee gives it, there's not a lot that the player can do because the referee's given it. The only difference that will ever happen is when VAR comes in. And that's the truth. Salah gets a bit of a rough rap, in my opinion, because he's not the only one that goes down quite easily in boxes, but he gets singled out because of who he's playing for and how successful he was last year as well. People point to Salah that he should be an example for the Premier League, but everybody should be an example for the Premier League, which is the most competitive league in world football, in my opinion. And I don't know. I don't really know where to end off on that. I was just, yeah, we were fortunate in some ways to actually get that penalty, and we were fortunate in some ways to come out of that with 2-0, with not having conceded. But we did. We're back on top right now. Man City play Man United midweek. I'll probably watch it, but I'm not watching it with any sort of hope that Man United are going to get a result. I'm just going to watch it because I like watching football. And then Premier League action doesn't stop. You know, there's Premier League stuff today. Like tonight, I think Tottenham play tonight. There's, you know, the games are just constant because I think once these games are played, like tonight and tomorrow, then everyone is on the same amount of games played as us. We played 35. A lot of other teams around us have only played 34. So anyway, we'll see what happens. But I'm just going to take it as it comes. So that's all I'm going to do. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the title race and the Premier League itself at the moment if you are a Liverpool fan or a City fan. If not, then it might be a bit boring. But hopefully it's something enjoyable to watch anyway. Thank you ever so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please do hit that like button and subscribe if you're new around here. Thank you once again. There'll be a preview for Friday's game as well, probably coming out on Thursday possibly. But yeah, I'll let you know. Well, I won't let you know. There'll be a video coming out. So yeah, thanks once again, and I'll catch you later.